Good evening, Canada. The clock is ticking, and the stakes have never been higher. As the country gears up for one of the most pivotal elections in years, we're diving into issues that matter most. Trade deals that could change the economy, policies that impact your wallet, and climate action, or lack thereof. This isn't just about who's running. This is about what they're running for. Tonight, we cut through the spin and get down to what's really at stake. Will your future be shaped by bold new plans, or will the same tired ideas get recycled? From the economy to the environment, we're unpacking the choices that will define this election. So grab your tea, your popcorn, or whatever fuels your fire, because things are about to get interesting. Stick around. This is the political conversation you won't want to miss.
In Springfield, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets.
Hey folks, I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to each and every one who has subscribed, liked, commented, and shared our content. Seriously, your support keeps this little corner of the internet thriving, and I appreciate you more than my cats appreciate a canned tuna treat. If you're new here, welcome. Political Kitties is where we break down politics in a way that's informative, engaging, and of course, sprinkled with a little feline attitude. So, if you haven't already, tap the like, and if you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe and leave a comment. I want to hear from you. What's on your mind? What political topics have you been curious about? Your input helps shape what we cover next and keeps our channel from being swept into the internet's litter box. And don't forget to share our videos with your fellow politically curious humans, because the more informed we are, the better choices we make. All right, let's get back to the show. Hey folks, and welcome to Political Kitties, where politics meets paws and we keep it real. I'm your host, Mr. G, here to break down the latest political drama, Canadian style. Whether you're a first-time voter or a political pro, we're diving into the issues that matter. Let's get to it. First off, we're diving deep into trade and national sovereignty, a hot topic in the current political landscape. Let's break down what each major party has to say about it. The Liberal Party stresses the importance of strong national sovereignty in their trade relationships, especially with our neighbor to the south, the United States. They're focused on protecting Canadian industries from unfair trade practices and ensuring Canadian interests are safeguarded in international negotiations. On the other hand, the Conservative Party shares a similar commitment to sovereignty, but places more emphasis on reducing Canada's reliance on foreign energy, aiming for energy independence. For them, securing Canadian sovereignty means limiting external influence and boosting domestic production. The NDP also supports international trade, but they emphasize environmental sustainability and ensuring Canadian industries benefit from those trade agreements. Their approach tries to strike a balance between open markets and strong protections for Canadian industries. The Green Party takes a more eco-focused approach, prioritizing sustainability in international trade. Their vision includes reducing dependence on fossil fuels and fostering a greener economy through ethical trade practices that align with their environmental goals. The Bloc Québécois, however, take a unique position, prioritizing Quebec's autonomy in trade relations. They want Quebec to have more control over its economic and trade decisions, ensuring their distinct regional needs are met. While the Liberals, Conservatives, and NDP all prioritize sovereignty, they each define it differently. The Liberals focus on balancing trade with protection. The Conservatives aim for energy independence, and the NDP integrates sustainability into the mix. The Bloc Québécois stands apart, with their focus on Quebec's specific needs, while the Greens prioritize environmental factors in trade. Now, let's talk tax policies, an issue that impacts every Canadian household and business. The Liberal Party is proposing tax cuts for the middle class, while also suggesting higher taxes on the wealthiest Canadians to fund social programs and reduce inequality. The Conservative Party advocates for lowering taxes across the board, especially for businesses, arguing that these cuts would stimulate economic growth and create jobs. Meanwhile, the NDP is committed to raising taxes on the wealthiest Canadians to fund vital services such as healthcare, education, and affordable housing. The Green Party proposes a carbon tax to help fund the transition to a greener economy, offering incentives for businesses and individuals to reduce their environmental impact. The Bloc Québécois supports provincial tax policies, particularly those that benefit Quebec, allowing them more control over their economic resources. Most parties agree that tax policy is a tool for economic growth, but they differ in who should bear the burden. The Liberals and NDP support progressive taxation, targeting the wealthy, while the Conservatives focus on tax cuts to drive growth. Let's move on to climate change, definitely one of the most defining issues of our time. The Liberal Party advocates for carbon pricing as a strategy to fight climate change, while promoting the transition to renewable energy, all while trying to avoid burdening Canadian consumers with higher costs. In contrast, the Conservative Party opposes carbon taxes, arguing that they hurt businesses and families. They focus on achieving energy independence and tapping into Canada's natural resources instead. The NDP takes a bold stance on climate action, calling for an aggressive shift to renewable energy and holding big polluters accountable for their environmental impact. Their policies seek to balance environmental protection with the needs of workers in natural resource sectors. The Green Party leads the charge on climate action, calling for an ambitious transition to renewable energy and stricter environmental regulations to address the climate crisis head on. The Bloc Québécois supports an approach that considers Quebec's unique needs, favoring sustainable development while also prioritizing regional economic factors. While all parties agree that climate change must be addressed, the Liberals, NDP, and Greens are more proactive with government intervention, while the Conservatives advocate for less regulation and more private sector solutions. Next up, let's try to tackle housing affordability, an issue affecting millions of Canadians. The Liberal Party has proposed initiatives to boost affordable housing, working in partnership with provincial and municipal governments to increase supply. The Conservative Party prefers a market-driven approach, encouraging the private sector to increase the housing supply in order to reduce cost. The NDP advocates for rent controls and the construction of more affordable housing, aiming to make housing more accessible to low and middle-income Canadians. The Green Party pushes for community-driven solutions, advocating for more funding to support affordable housing projects in local communities. The Bloc Québécois focuses on housing policies that would cater to Quebec's specific needs, supporting provincial-level housing development. While the Liberals, NDP, and Green support government intervention to address housing affordability, the Conservatives advocate for a free market approach. Now, let's look at some broader cross-party trends. When it comes to immigration, most parties, including the Liberals, NDP, Bloc Québécois, and Greens, support welcoming immigrants. The Conservatives, however, push for stricter immigration controls. In terms of economic growth, all parties focus on growing the economy, but through different methods. Conservatives emphasize tax cuts and business incentives. Liberals and NDP push for government spending, while the Greens focus on a green economy. For law and order, the Conservatives favor tougher law enforcement, while the Liberals and NDP prioritize equitable justice and workers' rights. There are stark divergences when it comes to issues like climate change and healthcare. The Green Party and NDP advocate for more ambitious climate policies, while the Conservatives resist carbon taxes. The NDP supports universal pharmacare, while the Conservatives favor private sector solutions. Housing, too, remains a divisive issue, with the Liberals, NDP, and Greens advocating for more government involvement, while the Conservatives prefer, again, a market-driven approach. And that's a wrap for tonight's breakdown of the key political stances for each of the Canadian federal parties. We've explored everything from trade and tax policies to climate change, housing affordability, and beyond. As the election cycle heats up, we'll keep you up to date with the latest developments. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, keep your perspective. I'm Mr. G, and this has been Political Kitties. We wish you and your family a fabulous evening. Thank you and take care. Meow for now.
Canada, it's time to make your voice heard. Voting is easy and it matters. New to voting? No problem. If you're not sure where to go, visit elections.ca. Together, we shape our future. Canada votes, and so do you.